Welcome to Math 218. My name's Brian Fitzpatrick. I'll be your instructor this semester. The most important thing on this slide is the URL for my website, bfits.xyz. If you're a student in one of my courses, you got to memorize that URL. You got to be going to my website every single day. The next most important thing is my email address. There are two Brian Fitzpatricks on campus. One of them has a different email address from this. If you want to communicate with me, send an email to this email address. There are my office hours, which I'll say more about in a moment. Now, every one of you in this course is enrolled in both a lecture component, which is taught by me, and also in a discussion component, which is taught by one of our discussion leaders. Now, what is this? This is 1 week in your life as far as this semester is concerned. So every week is planned the exact same way. On Monday morning, the same thing will happen. 6 a.m. sharp. New material will be released on both the course webpage and in Gradescope. So on the course webpage in the morning, on Monday morning, there will be new topics that are released, and we'll work through those topics as the week rolls along. Every topic we cover will have both a quiz associated to it and a problem set associated to it, and those assignments are released inside of Gradescope. Now, I'll be lecturing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you're enrolled in one of the two lecture sections. On Thursday, you will have your discussion, and the deadline for assignments released on a Monday is 8 days later, Tuesday night, 11:30 p.m., and everything is collected through Gradescope. So the entire semester rolls along the same. New material released Monday, 8 days later, deadline for all of the assignments. So everything should be running pretty smoothly. Now, what is this? This is how grades break down in the course. So there are 5 grade categories. Let's talk through them. So as I mentioned a moment ago, every topic we cover has a quiz associated to it and a problem set associated to it. Your performance on the quizzes comprises 8% of your grade. Those quizzes are taken inside of Gradescope. They're all either multiple choice or fill in the number. Collaboration is absolutely encouraged, but I do not accept late work. What about the problem sets? The problem sets can also be found inside of Gradescope, and these are pre-templated PDFs. So it's your responsibility to either print out these blank PDFs, write up your solutions in the blank spaces in these PDFs, scan them with your phone, and upload your work to Gradescope by the deadline. Or, for those of you who like working on tablets, totally cool if you want to do your work on the tablet, but make sure when you're finished that your tablet does not export with a cover page. It's very important that when you upload your problem sets to Gradescope, that you totally conform to the template. This makes everything easier when it comes time to grade. Once again, collaboration is definitely encouraged on problem sets. However, you must write your own solutions, so no copying. And once again, late work is not accepted. So the next 10% of your grade is your performance in discussion. In every discussion, part of it, or most of it, will be working on a discussion worksheet. Those are graded for completion. So you must attend discussion and be an active participant in order to receive this grade. Now, if you, for whatever reason, have to be absent from a discussion, you need to email me and I will help you sort out your absence. The next 42% of your grade is your performance on the 3 midterm exams. Those will be taken in our lecture hall during our normal lecture time. The dates for those are February 7th, 2025, March 7th, and April 18th. I believe those are all Fridays. I do not accept stimps for exam absences. I require that you get a dean's excuse if you absolutely must be absent from an exam. Finally, the last 32% of your grade is your performance on the final exam. That is a cumulative exam, which takes place April 29th, 2025 from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. We don't have a location for the final yet, but when we do, I will make sure this is actively communicated. And if you do receive a dean's excuse for whatever reason on one of the midterm exams, my policy is that your performance on the final exam replaces your missed midterm. So that's grades. For those of you who receive SDAO accommodations, read this carefully and reach out to me. If that doesn't mean anything to you, then you don't need to worry about this. This is information about the course webpage. I'll just walk you through this in a moment, so we don't need to talk about this. In terms of resources for the course, everything you need is found on the course webpage or in Gradescope, so you don't need to buy anything for the class. But if you want an extra resource, the classic one is right here. This is Gilbert Strang's Introduction to Linear Algebra. So feel free to pick up that book as an extra resource if you want. I don't assign any work out of the book, so it's not necessary at all to succeed in the class. What is this? So this is a sort of weekly schedule of how you can receive help. So I will have weekly office hours. Discussion leaders will have weekly office hours, and there's also a math help room run by the math department. So pay careful attention to all of those. You can get help every day of the week here. Now, what about expectations? I have expectations from all of my students. One of the most important things in a college math class is that you keep pace. The day we learn a lesson should be the day that you at least get started on your assignments, so that the next time you see me, you have questions that you can ask me about any of the problems you're working on. Don't procrastinate. The next thing I expect from you is that you participate. Lecture attendance is not optional. It's absolutely mandatory. The way that I do things is I like to call out questions and I like to field answers from students. I like to adopt a back and forth, a sort of call response kind of style. If you're not attending, you're going to miss that, and you'll be surprised how much you miss out on. So it's very important that you participate. The next thing is that it's important to communicate. If you find yourself falling behind maybe a little bit, reach out to me sooner rather than later. It's always easier to fix issues in week 3 than it is in week 15. The other important thing here is that you'll find yourself practicing writing a lot more than you've done in some of your prior math courses. Linear algebra is a totally different beast than calculus. Fundamentally, it is a vocabulary-driven subject. And this is something that takes a lot of students a little bit of time to get used to, because vocabulary is not quite as emphasized in calculus courses. So you'll find yourself realizing that the way you write solutions to problems is a lot more important than it was when you were in calculus, which is where all of you are coming from. What about conduct? Be nice. We do more and more things over the internet these days. It's easy to not be nice on the internet. Be nice. Also, you need to be patient. This is a large lecture course with lots of little moving parts. So from time to time, you might find a typo somewhere, or maybe there's a miscommunication in an email, or maybe even there's a mistake in the grading of a problem set, or whatever. It's not that I don't want to fix all those things. I want to fix all of those things, but you need to be patient. So please reach out if you ever have an issue. Just be patient. I promise that I'll take care of whatever is on your mind, but it's not always easy to attend to every little thing in the moment in real time. So just be patient. Also, be humble. A lot of the people who end up in the most trouble in this course are people who think they've seen things before. It is always important to take the time to relearn anything that you think you may have seen. I think this is a very big deal. I've been teaching this course for a long time, and I am a professionally trained mathematician. And every time I teach this course, I learn something new about linear algebra. So if you think you've seen something before, take the time to relearn it. By the way, I'm not assuming anyone has seen any of this material. And finally, you need to humor me. It is so easy to get caught up in the incentives of getting hundreds on quizzes or getting a high score on problem sets or exams and all that. It's always important to zoom out and remember the whole point of taking a class like this is to learn linear algebra. So don't get caught up in incentives. Ironically, it's one of the worst things you can do for yourself when it comes to doing well in a course. All right, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to walk you through the course webpage. So if you go to my personal URL, bfits.xyz, you'll find a menu link at the top for our class. This is the home page for our class. Everything you need is found right here. You'll notice that the home page is simply our schedule of topics. So week to week, new topics will pop up on the course webpage. Every topic that I cover, if you click on it, That'll take you to the slides that I lecture from in class. So you have a full record of everything that occurs in class. If you go back for a moment, you'll notice that there are these clickable little emoji icons at the top. Most of these are self-explanatory, but I would like to go a little bit in depth for a few of them. Click on this calendar icon. This calendar icon takes you to an embedded Google Calendar, which organizes all of the important dates and times for anything involved with the class. So if you ever have a question of the form, when or where does something happen, the first place to go is the course calendar. There's also an email emoji. If you click on that, that'll take you to your email client and with my email address properly inserted. So you never have an excuse for sending an email to the wrong address. If you click the Zoom icon, that will drop you into the Zoom room where I do my Zoom office hours. So you never have to worry about finding that information. Here's a link to Gradescope. This scroll emoji is the course policies document. And this folder icon, if you click on it, that takes you to a repository of a bunch of my old exams for the class. So you have lots and lots of study materials. To finish up here, I just want to take you back to the list of topics. You'll notice that every topic has at least a few resources connected to it. I have videos for all of my lessons. So if you find that supplemental information useful, please feel free to use it. You'll also notice for most topics, there's this blue icon. If you click on this blue icon, what this takes you to are embedded calculators. So sometimes you'll want to outsource more sophisticated calculations to a calculator. I've pre-coded a bunch of useful calculators into the website, so you shouldn't have to scramble to find where you need to input data in order to do an important calculation. All right, I feel like I've been rambling a little bit too much. I'm going to meet you tomorrow anyway. I will see you tomorrow. Welcome to the class.